Got to talk about some Daniel Jones talk here. So it's exactly how they started the show. So Daniel Jones starts up there doing some workouts and stuff. You see him doing 5-yard sprints and quick stops at that point there, which obviously is good to see first off with what he had.
Yeah,
ACL.
that injury.
That's the injuries where that kind of stuff gets affected by that. It's quick stops in your knees and all, which are very difficult.
I was going to say it's a stop and go. It's like some people think it's the ability to run, it's the ability to stop and then go. The acceleration off that stop.
Exactly. Now, as he's working out there, a voiceover of Joe Schoen starts off, and he says, "It doesn't mean we don't have confidence in you, Daniel. You've missed 17 games in the last 2 years. We have been here for whatever, the neck and then the ACL." Now, you would think he's talking to Daniel Jones by the way it started off there. Then they cut to the actual film of where he was. Now, he was in his office talking to Chris Mara, the player personnel executive and obviously part of the ownership family there, he was kind of retelling the story of what he said to Daniel Jones. At one point saying, point blank, they're going to do their due diligence on the quarterbacks. They may take one, they don't know. And they wanted to be upfront and honest with him. I think he said at one point, he said about I don't want you to see him in the cafeteria. Like he wouldn't know.
Yeah, come on. I'm pretty sure that he also has some kind of cable package or some way.
No. I mean, as far as I didn't know they wouldn't be looking at quarterbacks considering what's happened. I mean, because keep in mind they're there for a day or two, so they're having lunch even when they're in their visits and stuff like that. So I'm not talking like he wouldn't know about them being drafted, but still, it's like I gotta imagine Daniel Jones knew this. But what I really didn't like is why didn't we see the actual conversation? We saw the conversation, but like what would be considered in a lot of circles private conversations. Though everybody knew these weren't private when they happened. We talked about that, so I'm not bashing the Giants for doing it this way. Saquon Barkley, those conversations were public. The trade discussions for Brian Burns, at least some of them were public. We talked with Elliott Wolf, the Pacers GM, about trading up. That was public. Why was Daniel Jones spared having that public? I would have loved to see his reaction, and it may not be for the reason why a lot of you guys are thinking of this. I want to see if that brings out the fight in him. I want to see if that pisses him off. Because that tells me a lot about him in this season. If he's going to have that drive from it. Because to be honest with you guys, some people, that'll set them off or they just get pissed off and you get the very best out of them. Yeah. Other people, that's going to make them cower.
Yeah. In the words of the episode, the word of the night, puts a dog in him.
Yeah. I really wanted to see how he reacted. It's really a shame we didn't get to see that. Joe Schoen did stress they weren't giving up on him, but really seemed very concerned over, as he put it, the uncertainty at the position. Now, I will say this. We've talked about this before. There's two schools of thought in the Giants fandom. There's the Jones has never gotten the right help. He could be the future. He could be great. And there's the Daniel Jones is a pile of dog poop. There's not a lot of people in the middle. Like we like to call ourselves eccentrics in that, because I do believe we are. We just don't think he's the right answer, but we do think he's a legitimate NFL quarterback.
Yeah, he's at best he's probably the next. We've got Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't even say Kirk Cousins, to be honest with you. I hate to say it that way. He's actually more clutch than Cousins and not nearly as good as the quarterback as Cousins, as weird as that sounds.
I was saying, but listen, he's got a long career. He's going to be a starter somewhere. He's going to get paid good money.
I don't know if he's going to be a starter after this, honestly. If he doesn't have a good season this year, he might be a backup somewhere next year.
Okay, but look at Kirk Cousins' career.
He's always been a starter.
Yeah.
Honestly, if Daniel Jones fails this year, it looks like he did last year. He's a backup somewhere next year.
Playing a couple games, getting hurt. Yeah, you're right.
No,
you don't show much for 2 years.
Did he not look, okay, correct me if I'm wrong. Did he not look bad in those games he played? Really bad.
He definitely didn't look good. What week did he get hurt?
Was it 6?
Was that? Did he play in all 6 of those games?
I can't keep track off the top of my head here. I can look up.
I guess so.
Clock, obviously.
Let's say week 2 against the Cardinals, 2 quarters, he looked fantastic. He looked all right.
Yeah, that's the only 2 quarters he looked fantastic the entire season, guys. Let's be honest. Oh,
you're not wrong for saying that.
Yeah, but I'm saying don't pick the only 2 quarters he looked good. Like, well, he had these 2 quarters.
I'm just saying, like you're saying like terrible the whole season. Like, yeah, just
okay. Yes, he played the first 5 games, and then was inactive for 3, and then played again in week 9. So he played in 6 games.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I said, I'm just saying if he doesn't play well, it plays like he did last year, he will be back up somewhere next year. But the point I was trying to make is, you got 2 sides of people fighting about Daniel Jones in the Giants fandom, and now they got those 2 sides fighting over the interpretation of this episode. They're going, "Oh, look, the Giants had faith in him all along. They were never going to trade for a quarterback." No one's going to look. They did all this work trying to trade up for a quarterback. And here's the reality of the scenario, guys. Here's the reality. The reality is
the coach stats right in the middle.
Point blank wanted to move up for a quarterback because he didn't have full confidence in Daniel Jones, but he had enough confidence to not give up the farm for a quarterback.
Correct. So this is his, this is his words, not, loosely said, that he pretty much said, listen, if we can't get to the top 3, we ride with Daniel. We're going to get weapons around him. We're going to get what we can do, see what we do with him. So that's saying, hey, is he the long-term answer? No. But he's also not the worst.
I'm telling you right now, they could have got the 3 if they wanted to. Point blank. They could have. They would have had to give up a ton of picks for it. We'll get to that in a little bit what they talked about. But I'm not saying it's worth it. I'm not saying it's the right move. But I'm saying they could have. They decided they'd rather have Daniel Jones and all the picks than have Drake May or Jaden Daniels, since we didn't know who was picking 2 or 3 yet. That's what they decided. So, again, the people that think that they wanted to keep Daniel Jones the entire time are wrong. They did not want to keep Daniel Jones the entire time. But the people that say they have no confidence in Daniel Jones are also wrong. There is the middle.
Correct.
That middle ground is where they're at. They had enough confidence in Daniel Jones not to give up 2 years of draft picks basically to get him, get him as replacement. But they didn't have enough to not at least have the conversations where if it was reasonable ask, they would have done it. It's in the middle. So.
Yep.
If you like that clip, then you will love the full episodes too. Find us on your favorite podcast app and look for us on all your favorite social media platforms.
Enter to win a Daniel Jones signed jersey. Simply subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/@2giantgoofballs, and email a screenshot to 2giantgoofballs@mail.com to enter. Only 1 submission allowed per subscriber. Monthly subscribers at buymeacoffee.com/2giantgoofballs will get an additional 2 entries. Contest ends when the channel reaches 1,000 subscribers. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited. This contest is not affiliated with the NFL, New York Giants, Daniel Jones, or any other person or company besides the 2 Giant Goofball podcast. Good luck to everyone.
Thanks so much.
Please, I'm begging you. Please subscribe.